I've talked about a lot of characters in Stranger Things, but at the top of that list of the characters I've talked about the most, Max Mayfield is definitely up there for a good reason, because of what happened in season 4, and I've made literally probably 10 videos over the last 3 years talking about the possibilities of her character and in season 5, but with the recent teaser and all of the, the news and everything, like all the different scenes, there are some more questions that have popped up about her character and what direction they're taking her character and how much danger she's going to be in season 5. We'll get into that. So I'm going to talk about my initial thoughts and where I think they're going to take her character and if I think she's going to die or not. And then we're going to do something where I'm going to answer a bunch of popular questions about her character and just give you my opinion on them. Before we get into the video, guys, be sure to drop likes and subscribe, turn on notifications, and join my Discord down below where we have over 1,300 members and we talk about Stranger Things and other TV shows every single day. And without further ado, let's get right into the video. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is just like I said, my initial thoughts on what I think her character is going to be like in season 5 and when we're even going to see her wake up if she does wake up, which I think she will. Let's get that out of the way. I do think Max Mayfield will wake up. Now, do I think she's going to be able to see or be normal or be exactly how she was before the incident in season 4? Absolutely not. She might be able to see, but she's definitely not going to be the same person that she was before season 4. She might be, physically slower. She might be, have this supernatural connection to Vecna because of what happened to her. She might not be able to walk. Like, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but I know for a fact she's not going to be the same person before the incident in season 5. So that's my first thoughts. She's definitely not going to be the same. There's going to be something different about her. It's going to be more of a challenge for her to live in season 5 because of what happened in season 4, unless she has powers, which I think we can all agree that is extremely unlikely, but you never say never. Okay, and the second thing is, like I said, I do think she's going to wake up, but the question is, there's 8 episodes in Stranger Things, and there's 3 different volumes, okay? So volume 1 is probably going to be 4 episodes, volume 2 is probably going to be 2 episodes, and volume 3 is also probably going to be 2 episodes. So out of all of those episodes, when are we going to see her wake up from the coma? Like, she has to wake up, right? We have to see her at least, maybe not open her eyes because she might be blind. I don't know, but we have to see her at least breathe and maybe talk, something like that. At some point in the season. But this scene right here makes me think that it's not going to be episode 1, episode 2, or maybe not even episode 3. Because this scene right here is Lucas is holding Max and she's in her hospital gown. It looks like they might be in the hospital and something happened to where the hospital got overtaken by demodogs and demogorgons and it got attacked and they went in there. They took Max off of the machine on the coma and Lucas is holding her and it looks like she's still asleep. Maybe this is what wakes her up from the coma, or maybe she did wake up from the coma and she's just passed out. I don't really know, but assuming that she hasn't woken up from the coma and they just took her out of her bed because she would have died otherwise, and Lucas is holding her while this demodog is creeping around the corner, which is something I'll get to in a little bit, that means that that's probably not in episode 1, it's probably not in episode 2, and I think the earliest possible scene that could be is episode 4, and we don't even know if she's going to be awake. So I seriously do think there could be a situation where Max doesn't wake up until volume 2, or maybe even, I do think this is a lower chance, but maybe Max Mayfield doesn't even wake up until the very end of the show. And it's like this awesome moment in celebration. Everybody's like, oh my God, finally, you're okay, she's healthy, whatever. And they go and do a time jump and she lives happily ever after. I could also see that happening. But I do not think we're gonna see Max Mayfield open her eyes or say anything for the first 3 episodes. Just based off of that scene right there where she's just passed out in Lucas's arms and there's a demo dog walking around. Okay, and speaking of the demo dog walking around the corner and Lucas is just holding her there, and I'm pretty sure he's with Vicky and someone else or whatever. Obviously we know every single character in Stranger Things season 5 is going to be in extreme danger, but Max Mayfield is already in danger. Her life is literally on life support. She's in a coma. Like, she hasn't been awake in who knows how many months, you know what I'm saying? And now they take her out of the coma or out of the bed for the first time in who knows how long, like I said, and she's getting she's 3 feet away from a demo dog? Is that what type of danger she's going to be in? So there's no way she's just going to get out of the hospital bed and just die from a demo dog, right? But it's crazy to me how the Duffers were willing to take her character from where she was in that freaking coma and then have a demo dog be there right in front of her face just like that. That just shows how high the stakes are going to be in season 5. And personally, I love that because obviously I've mentioned this a lot, but someone needs to die in Stranger Things season 5. And I'm not talking Murray, Karen. I'm not talking any characters like that. I'm talking about main characters need to die. And I feel like in that trailer, they did emphasize and show us throughout the scenes and clips and what happened in all the moments that everybody is in serious danger and people can die in season 5. Main characters can die, which is a message that they got across that I'm very appreciative because I feel like that's very important for this show to go out with a bang, go out perfectly, go out with a good ending, because we know a lot of shows like this have had very underwhelming endings. And I've talked about the potential theories with what would happen with Max Mayfield if she does wake up early and what type of role she'll have. And there could be a scenario where she does have that connection with Vecna similar to Will, but maybe in a different way that helps them and gives them an advantage, gives the kids an advantage. Maybe she can sense him or in a different way than Will. Obviously, it wouldn't be the same thing. But I do think there's a possibility of something like that happening, or her communicating to Vecna in her coma and then communicating to the group in the real world somehow while she's still in her coma because of her connection with Vecna. So I don't know that's one thing I don't know yet. I don't have any concrete answers for you or concrete theories. There's tons of theories about what our character is going to do when she wakes up, but I would assume she's still going to be somewhat helpful considering maybe what Vecna showed her while she was in a coma and Vecna was in her mind or whatever, or she was in Vecna's mind. So I do think she's going to be of some use, but what that use is going to be, I'm really not sure. I hope it's something to do with sensing Vecna a different way or giving them clues about Vecna because she saw in Vecna's mind and they can predict Vecna's next move because of it or something. I hope it's something like that. And one thing, a final thing I'm going to say before I answer these questions is I do hope that she's not blind. And I know a lot of you guys are saying like she's going to be blind, and she might be. I don't know, because her eyes literally got gouged out. But I hope that she's not blind. I hope that she can walk, and I hope that she can talk, and I hope she 100% lives. I have a very hard time seeing Max Mayfield die in season 5, but given the scene of Lucas holding her and a demo dog being right there, who knows what's possible. Obviously, they're not going to show us in the trailer, if they're going to die or not, but having that scene shows us that she is going to be in real danger, and not just because she's in a coma and on, about to die, like close to death. It's because demo dogs are invading that hospital where she's laid up at. So that's something to really keep an eye out for. All right, now enough of the yapping. Those are my initial thoughts about Max Mayfield going to season 5. I'm just going to go through some of these chat GPT generated questions. I said, give me 50 popular questions and 10 popular theories about Max Mayfield's character in Stranger Things season 5. I'm going to go through a little bit of them and just give you my immediate thoughts and reactions, and we'll go from there. Okay, the first one I want to answer is, can Max see or hear anything while in the coma? This is something that I think is really important to answer because, in real life, people have said when they're in a coma, they can hear when people talk to them. So obviously that's something to consider. But when I read that question, can Max see or hear anything while in the coma? I'm thinking, can she see or hear anything that Vecna's thinking? Because Vecna said whenever he kills a victim, he puts them in his mind. Is something like that possible? But I do think Max probably has heard Lucas talk to her and stuff like that, and that's why she's going to want to wake up and everything. And obviously, like, people do that in real life too. The next one I want to answer is, what did 11 actually see when she entered Max's mind? And the answer is absolutely nothing. She saw nothing. Like, usually when she goes into someone's mind, she can see them and see where they are, see what they're thinking, see what they're talking about, whatever. We've seen it 1,000 times. But whenever 11 spinned that bottle, went into Max's mind, it was pitch black. So that means her mind wasn't there. And that could be an example of what I was just talking about. Did Vecna take her mind? And that's where she's been this entire time in the coma. And can she recall anything from her time in Vecna's mind, if that's the case, when she wakes up from the coma? That's the thing I'm most interested about in season 5. Is she the key to defeating Vecna? No, I really don't think Max Mayfield is the key to defeating Vecna. Honestly, I don't think that. I don't think she's gonna have that big of a role in season 5 as far as defeating Vecna. Like I said, I do think she can be of use and maybe provide some value, but I think the key to defeating Vecna is 100% 11 and Will Byers, and it doesn't really come close. Will Max have powers after waking up? I would say there's probably a less than 10% chance that Max Mayfield has powers after waking up from the coma. Like I said, anything's possible in Stranger Things because it's literally called Stranger Things. Stranger Things happen in Stranger Things, you know? And 11 did revive her heartbeat with psionic abilities, and she did get possessed and overtaken by Vecna, a alternate dimension monster. So who knows what can happen? But I do think the chances are extremely low of her having powers, for sure. Okay, this is basically just asking if Billy Hargrove's going to be in season 5, but it says, could Billy appear to Max in a dream/coma state? And obviously, I don't think there was any leaks of Dacre Montgomery on the Stranger Things set. I'm pretty sure we would all have seen that over the last 2-3 years of filming. So no is my answer. But if they are going to bring back someone like Dacre Montgomery, they are going to keep it under wraps, and he could have just went into a studio and we couldn't have seen it, you know, and Billy's going to be in season 5. So there's probably a possibility that Billy could show up in Max's dream or coma state, and he did in season 4. Like he showed up in her when she was possessed by Vecna. So I thought that was really a really cool cameo. I would love for them to bring back Dacre. I mean, I believe he is a top 3 actor that has appeared in Stranger Things. So just seeing him back in Stranger Things, to me, would be a massive win. Like, I would actually consider that as like a huge boost to season 5, especially for the ratings. Seeing Billy return, I feel like people would go crazy over that, even in a dream or coma state. Could Max return as a villain? I highly doubt it, honestly. I know there's a possibility of her being in Vecna's mind, and maybe she got convinced of otherworldly beliefs or whatever while she was in his mind, if she was in his mind. But I don't know, if anyone's going to get turned out as a villain in season 5, it's going to be Will again, because of his connection with Vecna and because of the fact that Vecna said, I found you finally, or whatever. So if anyone's going to turn to the dark side, in my opinion, it's 100% Will Byers. It is not Max Mayfield. I think she's gone through too much. I think her character's already in so much danger. I don't think she's going to wake up blind and paralyzed or whatever and be turned to the dark side. I feel like that would be very underwhelming and does not really make that much sense. But who knows? Maybe she's possessed for like an episode or two and they get her out of it by like the end of volume 2. But I really hope that doesn't happen, because I wouldn't really like it, and I don't think that's going to happen either. Will running up that hill play again? I hope so. I hope we see running up that hill again, honestly. Like, what if they bring her out of the coma and she's struggling to stay awake or whatever, and they put running up that hill again and she wakes up from the coma? Like, I think that would be really cool. I do think we'll see that song in Stranger Things season 5 at least once, right? It might not even be related with Max's character. I hope it is, because she made that song iconic in season 4. But yeah, I do think we'll hear running up the hill again. Obviously, I have zero idea though. Who knows? Okay, a lot of these theories that AI generated are really basic. It says Max's mind is in the upside down. Max will become a psychic beacon. Vecna is possessing Max's body. Max will wake up blind but empowered. Max is the final sacrifice. So we've all heard those 5 theories hundreds of times. I've talked about those theories, but this theory I really have not heard. It wouldn't be that insane, but I think it would be really cool. And it does involve Dacre Montgomery again. It does involve Billy Hargrove, and it says Billy will guide Max in the void to the light, essentially. So Billy will guide Max while she's in a coma or dream state to get out of whatever she is and back to life. Now that would be not only like a redemption arc for Billy Hargrove, but an amazing use of a cameo, if you ask me, and an amazing story for Max. And maybe she wakes up from that and is like, finally, I got that closure I wanted with Billy and everything. Like, that would be really cool. I actually love that ChatGPT generated theory right there. Okay, those are all the questions and theories I'm gonna go through. Enough yapping for this video. You guys get my whole point and view on Max's character. I don't think she's going to die. I do think she's going to wake up. I don't know if she's going to be blind or physically disabled or whatever after she wakes up. I hope she's fully healthy and fully okay. Obviously, her memory is probably going to be a little messed up, her mind's gonna have a lot of trauma, clearly, unless she just forgets about everything. And but ultimately, I do hope she's a character that does survive till the end and lives happily ever after, because her character's already been through way too much. And that scene with the demo dog and Lucas, just I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that scene at all. But if any character deserves to live, it's her, Will, and Eleven. One of them is probably going to die. Hopefully it's not Max Mayfield. Those are my final thoughts about Max. Let me know your guys' theories, predictions, and comments about her character in the comments below. And if you guys have any other video ideas or video suggestions or video requests, let me know in the comments. Most importantly, guys, have a great rest of your day, and I appreciate you guys watching. Peace out.